Welcome to Wonders and Miracles podcast, where we celebrate miraculous moments in everyday lives. I'm Liza Lawrence. I'm glad to have you join me as we celebrate wonders and miracles together. All right. Well, I am back podcasting, and I'm really excited to get started with my new season 4 of Wonders and Miracles. And my first guest to kick off the season is my niece, Sarah. And so it's kind of fun. We're doing this in my home office, and she gets to be my first guest this season. Lucky me, her mom and dad dropped her off this weekend for school to go to college. We spent the summer getting my two oldest kids, ready for a 2-year mission trip and college in Hawaii. So I know what it feels like to drop your kids off and say goodbye to them. And for Sarah, this has been kind of a scary transition, right? Yeah. And so she's going to share a beautiful miracle story and a tender mercy where she knew God was helping her in the way that she needed to be helped in preparation to come to college and do the next big girl thing in her life. It was cute. We were talking about starting the podcast last night, and I said, I need some miracle stories. And she said, I have one I'd love to share. And so I was so grateful that she was willing to share this. So Sarah, thanks for being willing to share and being on the show. And start us out with kind of some of the reasons why this is such a hard transition for you, so that we understand what a beautiful miracle this was in your life.
So I have had lots of fear surrounding college and just change in general. I love seeing other people change, and I love helping other people improve themselves and move forward. But when it happens to me, I don't love it as much. So, and college is like this big thing. It's a big step. It's filled with millions and millions of people. And it's just kind of scary to be just a little tiny ant in the middle of that huge anthill. And so many different scenarios could happen. So many things could happen. And so it's just really terrifying beyond being on your own and having to care for yourself and make your own decisions and not having anyone guiding you or helping you along. So it has been really terrifying to move here and to start this next chapter of my book. But God knows that it's terrifying for me. And so He is helping me so much with this.
I love that. Thank you. So tell us how He started prepping you and really this moment where you knew God was guiding you along. So go ahead and tell us your story.
Okay, let's begin. So my story it begins on a church Sunday. I was going to my church with my family, and I was just kind of getting the thought that, Sarah, it's time to move on. It's time to go to the next step. And that next step was YSA, which for those of you who don't know what YSA is, it's a church group for young single adults. So we call it YSA. It's just a place for all of us young single adults to get together, to connect, to learn, to study the scriptures, and to share our experiences, all of that. And so it was kind of scary because it's a new step. It's a new place I've never been to, never really thought about doing it. But this thought just kept coming, go to YSA. And I pushed it away. I was like, that looks kind of scary. It's a new experience. I don't want to do that. So no. And I go to my church with my congregation, and we go to Sunday school. And in Sunday school, I'm again feeling like it's time to move on, because I have so much that I want to learn, and I'm very passionate about the scriptures and about church and about religion. And I just want to learn as much as I can. And I had already learned everything that I could there. They were still teaching all of these young kids, and I was just a little bit above them, and I was ready to learn new things, but I wasn't learning anything, and I wasn't progressing, and I was feeling that need to move forward and progress. And I was like, once again, no, that sounds too scary. So no, I'm not going to do that. So then I go home, and I am hit with the worst pain that I've ever been in. I was in so much pain, about to faint. I was completely white. it wasn't a pleasant experience.
And this is kind of a pain that hits you sometimes, right? So it's something that you're familiar with and you know what's coming, but you get really sick. Isn't that right? Maybe tell us a little bit more about that.
So around the time of my period, the first time this happened was on my period. I was like, it was my first day. I had taken a pain pill without eating anything. And that's when it all hit. And that day, like my dad came in and he saw me about to faint and he was screaming for my mom and I was out of it. I was in so much pain and I couldn't sit still. I was moving around. I was clutching my stomach. Like it was terrible. And the only thing that really helped it was like a heat pack. But then I also needed a cool pack because I was sweating. It was just all around a terrible experience. And that has been happening a lot around the time of my period. So that's another one of my fears for college is being stuck alone without anyone to help me when that comes.
Luckily, you have your aunt here that you can call.
Of course, yes. And I will call you. So I was in this position again, stuck in a room, about to faint, completely white, sweating. I was hot, but I was also like shivering. And I was just in so much pain that I prayed. I was like, Lord, please take this pain away from me. Then I had the thought, okay, Lord, if you take this pain away from me, I will go to YSA. And he took the pain away. It was pretty instant. It wasn't like a poof and now the pain's gone. It was a okay, and I'm feeling better, and okay, now I feel good. And so it was kind of slow, but it was very like soft. Like it wasn't an abrupt now you're healed. It was a soft okay. So now I'm feeling better. And he kept his end of the word, so now I have to keep my. And so I go out and I sit on the couch and I'm still kind of like shook from that experience. And I don't want to get up off the couch. And I realize, well, I don't have my phone and I need my phone to call my church leader to tell him to switch all of my records over into this next congregation, into this next church. And so I didn't have my phone. So I was like, it's okay. I'll do it later. Right then, my mom comes in carrying my phone and she hands my phone to me and she says, I think you need this. She was very confused and I glared at her because I was like, no way this just happened. And so I was kind of mad at her for bringing me my phone, but also laughing at the situation because my mom, just a little backstory on her, she hates technology. She hates phones. And she would never give any of her kids their phone. Like she takes the phones away. She doesn't give us our phones. So it was really quite like the shock that I kind of needed of my mom is giving me my phone out of the blue for no reason because she thinks I need it. And so I was like, okay, this is a miracle that's happening. I should probably listen and like start acting. But once again, I was being a little poop and I opened my phone and I was like, I'll just distract myself and I'll do it later. So I'm thinking I'm going to distract myself. I open my phone. The first notification that I see is kind of like an ad for YSA saying, hey, come try out YSA. Have you thought about going to YSA? This is what we do. And I was like, okay, I'm going to listen. So I went straight to my church leader's number. I texted him and I said, hey, I don't want to do this, but the Lord is pushing me and miracles have happened and I have to go to YSA. So can you switch my records over there? Right after that, the next day is Monday, and we have a thing called FHE, Family Home Evening, and the YSA. That's one of our activities where everyone gets together and plays games and does service projects, and it always happens on a Monday. The next Monday, I get a text out of the blue from one of my friends, and she says, "Hey, Sarah, I don't want to go to this YSA activity alone. Would you go with me?" And so that was my first time going to YSA, and I was asked to actually say the prayer for that YSA activity. Like I was immediately brought into this congregation, and it was an amazing experience. They brought me in. I became friends. I only had a month with them, but in that month, I became friends with so many people, and they all came up to me and wanted to know about me. They wanted to hear my stories. They wanted to just talk to me and get to know me and cheer me on. And when they learned that I was leaving them, they were all super mad at me. But I was really grateful for that experience because the Lord knows that I don't love change and that change scares the crap out of me. And He knows that I need to be slowly brought into things in order to feel comfortable enough to continue moving forwards. And so He knew that this was an experience that I needed to have so that it prepared me for moving to a new place and beginning in a new congregation. And it was a very helpful experience just to be prepared for this change that's in my life right now. So
I love that. I love those stories where you can see the Lord nudging you to prepare you for that next step of growth. And yes, coming to college has always been kind of terrifying for you. I mean, we've seen that process of, I don't even want to go. Why do I need this kind of step in your life? And so, and where we're college teachers, we're like, well, it is helpful to have an education, even if you never use it. But yes, you're going to be going to church with new people, meeting a lot of new people, what skills did you feel like this step with the YSA group, even though you were only there for a month, what do you feel like you really took away and why that was so important for you and your growth?
I think lead by example is a great way to describe it. All of these people, they had no clue who I was. They didn't know that I was terrified or that I was new or that I was super young. They just knew that new face, new friend. And they came over and they talked to me. And just that example of someone being so willing to make a new friend and to hear new stories, it really touched me and taught me that as I'm down here, there's going to be lots of people in my same position that are terrified and that are not wanting to be here at all. There's going to be so many people like that. And especially in this new congregation that I'm going to be in, there's going to be lots of scared freshmen and they're going to want some friends. They won't have anybody. I don't have anybody here that I really know except for you guys. And so I'm going to need to start reaching out and being the person that came up to me when I was scared and alone. And I want to be that person that goes up to those people and say, hey, tell me about yourself. How are you feeling about this? And what's your experience with this? What are some miracles in your life? Just to be their friend because they will need it. I will need it. And I've learned personally through this also that service and finding people that are in the same boat as you and helping them, that really helps you. Because when you're stuck in the same position, you're feeling down and you're feeling scared. And if you focus, like I love this analogy of having your hand right in front of your face. If you're focusing only on you, you don't see anybody else and you only see your problems and then they seem bigger. But if you reach out to other people and you put out your hand to help others, you see so much more. And you're also, all of your problems seem so small compared to theirs. And so you don't focus on them as much and you help other people and it builds you up and makes you feel happy. So, and I think also, the main lesson that I've learned is that God knows me and He knows what I need and that He is going to help me through this process.
I love that. I love that analogy. You know, you can't see and everything looks so much bigger when it's right in front of your face and you're focused on yourself, but reaching out. I love that. And yes, amen to that, that God knows you and loves you as He knows all of us and loves all of us and knows how to best help and tutor and guide each one of us in our life and our transition and journey. I love that. Anything else you want to share before we close up?
Yes. So afterwards, I asked my mom, I was like, why did you give me my phone? Because that was just the weirdest part of the whole thing. And she said, that is so funny. Right when you laid down, I had the thought, I need to give Sarah her phone. Sarah needs her phone right now. And she was so confused, like, why do I have that thought? Why do I need to give Sarah her phone? That's so weird. but she listened. So, so yeah, here I am now, and the rest is history.
I love that. I love that because she obviously felt that prompting from the Spirit to say, Sarah needs her phone. And then all the rest happened. I love that. Well, Sarah, thank you so much for sharing. What a sweet story. And I think that's so cool that you saw an immediate result with your prayer of, if you help me through this pain and take it away, okay, fine, I'll go to this YSA group. Did it build your confidence in this is the right step for me, the next right step? Because sometimes I think when we're trying to make change and we're trying to go to that next right step, we'll doubt, like, is this really right? Is it not? I don't know. And so did you experience some of that?
Yeah, I experienced a lot of doubt. The first day of my church, none of my friends were going to be able to be there. And so I was stuck in this new congregation all by myself, didn't know anybody. And I was like, are you sure? Am I really supposed to be here? Because nothing's really working out. I'm just kind of pushing aside the miracles because I was letting the doubt in. But that first day of church, I just sat down next to a group and they invited me to a party. First day meeting someone, I was invited to a party with them. And it was really fun, really awesome to meet people and just get kind of introduced to all of these new amazing people. But yeah, the doubt was definitely there. And even now, just being here, the doubt is here of, oh crap, now I'm in this new situation. There's no really going back, but I do have a car. I could just drive back to my house. A lot of doubt is coming in, but thinking back on that experience, I know that God is leading me. He's guiding me. He's walking beside me, and he is helping me on my way. And so long as I remember this experience and remember that he is here with me and that he does want me here. He wanted me enough to take my pain away and to make my mom give me my phone. He wanted this enough. And so I just need to trust in him and in his timing as well. And just trust that this is the path that I need to be on. And I need to kind of push away some of the doubt. It's okay to have a little bit right now, but I need to push away some of it and just focus on the fact that God does want me here, and I have evidence of that.
I love that word, evidence. I love that you said that because that's what these miracles are. When we have those moments that change us and touch us, and we can't deny that God was involved in that, it does build evidence to build our testimony in him and his divine guidance in our lives. So thank you so much. And it's so fun to have you here in town, and we'll get to see a lot of you. And the fun thing is Sarah is taking my class. So she's going to have a lot of me, probably too much of me, but she'll be like, okay, Aunt Liza, I'm done with you. Stop. I don't want to hear you anymore. But I'm excited to watch your progress and growth as you step into this new scary thing, and you'll do awesome. I have every faith that you will just blossom here.
Thank you.
I wanted to make a couple announcements. I am going to be doing only 2 podcasts a month. So every other Monday, we'll be doing an episode. I'm teaching a lot more classes and my time is getting busier. So I'm just going to do it 2 times a month. So don't worry, you'll still get your uplift on Mondays, but it won't be every Monday. So I just wanted to let you know that. And thank you for listening. I appreciate your support. And we're so excited to be back podcasting and starting season 4 of Wonders and Miracles. Also, if you have a miracle story that you'd be willing to share on the podcast, on the show, please reach out to me at wondersandmiracles.com. And there's a place you can submit your story, and I'll contact you and we can share it on the podcast, on YouTube. And I'm so grateful and excited that you're seeing where God is showing up in your life, because it uplifts all of us when we get to hear those stories. And it was cute as Sarah was sharing her story last night. She said to me, I'm really excited to share this. At first she was kind of tentative and nervous, and then thought, I am excited. So Sarah, thank you for sharing.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for listening to this miracle story. Please subscribe to my channel if you like